at the end of the day, if in the Milwaukee Bucks organization, which is the same thing I say every single year I've been with the Bucks, as long as we are in for a championship, we are all good.
Giannis Antetokounmpo might be facing the most important summer of his career. He has already said multiple times that if the Bucks can't keep him in championship contention, he'll consider his options. With Lillard out indefinitely, an aging roster, and a disappointing playoff track record since their 2021 title, Giannis' future in Milwaukee looks shaky. Let's start with what fueled these thoughts for me recently: Damian Lillard's deep vein thrombosis. There's no question that it's a super serious blow to the Bucks, not only for this season but possibly beyond. He's already 34, turning 35 soon, and blood clots aren't something an older player bounces back from easily. Milwaukee's been plagued by injuries in the postseason since 2021. Either Giannis or Chris Middleton has missed time or left mid-game due to injury in 26 of their past 29 playoff games. That's an unbelievable pattern of bad luck. Then Dame was supposed to be the savior, but now he's caught in the same curse that has cost them year after year. The Bucks finally got their elite perimeter scorer who could take pressure off Giannis, and now Lillard is likely out for the rest of the season. Remember, we're not talking about a 21-year-old Wemby here. The examples of Chris Bosh, Anderson Varejao, and Mirza Teletovic show how career-threatening these conditions can be, especially for players in their 30s. Now, there are some rumors, as reported by The Athletic, which suggest Dame has been put on blood thinners and might even return this year. Honestly, I hardly see him jumping back onto the court in such a short time without risking any health complications. Especially considering Wemby is taking the rest of the season off, and again, he's 14 years younger. And anyways, even if Lillard did heal up, that's no guarantee the Bucks can overcome their larger issues. As far as immediate results go, they're back in that same nightmare. Giannis left to shoulder the load, and this season's already looking like another early exit. That nightmare looks even worse because the Bucks bet everything on a roster that's supposed to win now. They gave up a mountain of picks to land Lillard, leaving them without control of a first-round pick until 2031. That level of all-in makes sense if you're on the verge of a championship, but only if your core stays healthy and your star duo works. So far, neither condition has been met. The biggest issue is their playstyles. Both Giannis and Dame need the ball in their hands to be effective, and neither thrives off the ball. Lillard operates best with strong spacing to create an isolation, while Giannis wants the ball to play his relentless downhill style. Their pick-and-roll duo looked unstoppable in theory, but in practice it hasn't been nearly as dominant as expected. On top of that, Milwaukee's defense went from elite to middling once they swapped out Jrue Holiday for Lillard. They basically traded the league's best defensive guard for a guy known for his scoring, but also for getting torched on defense. Listen, nobody's questioning Dame's offensive greatness. The problem is that it's hard to offset his defensive shortcomings when Giannis is also tasked with covering for aging teammates. Chris Middleton is gone. He was replaced by Kyle Kuzma, who's younger and more versatile, but nowhere near an all-star. Brook Lopez is still an interior rock, but at 36, he's naturally lost a step. The Bucks are paper thin beyond their top 4 or 5 guys. This wouldn't be such a dire scenario if everyone were in their prime and healthy. Instead, Lillard's return is very questionable, Lopez is hitting the twilight of his career, and the supporting cast can't consistently produce. Even worse, the Bucks recently changed coaches mid-season, going from Adrian Griffin to Doc Rivers, hardly a move that screams stability. Last season, Griffin had a strong 30-13 record, yet the front office abruptly decided Rivers was the answer. That's all despite Rivers' track record of late playoff collapses with the Clippers and the Sixers. It just feels like Milwaukee is making moves for the sake of making moves, losing sight of the big picture in the process. The end result is a franchise that's spinning its wheels in this win-now chase that seems increasingly impossible to execute. They have no picks to rebuild, limited ways to upgrade the roster, and a star who's painfully aware that time isn't on his side. As you've heard in the intro clip, Giannis has been vocal about only staying where he can actually win, and that second ring is his obsession. He openly said he wants to be in the same conversation as Hakeem Olajuwon.
I want to win another championship. We're talking about Hakeem. He has 2 championships. The moment I win a second championship, then maybe I can be compared to Hakeem. Right now, I cannot be compared to Hakeem. He has two, I have one.
For years, he played the loyal soldier, resigning with the Bucks and giving them every chance to build a dynasty around him. But the longer the Bucks are struggling, the louder we are hearing him say, hey, if this team isn't a title contender, then I'm out, which is a huge mental shift. Injuries aside, right now the Bucks just aren't matching the standard Giannis believes is necessary to fight for another ring. Compare that to Luka Doncic or Nikola Jokic, who are also from the Balkans but seem less consumed by ring chasing. Jokic looks happy balancing MVP level basketball with riding horses in Serbia. Luka might want to win, but he wouldn't have left Dallas if not for that trade and wasn't pushing anyone to make it happen. Giannis though has stated that he's willing to do whatever it takes. For example, recently after Luka AD trade, Giannis was asked about if he would request a trade from the GM, to which he jokingly said that would never happen and they would have to kick him out of the Bucks. However, someone from Giannis's camp, probably his agent, did not like this, and suddenly someone leaked to Shams that Giannis could indeed ask for a trade because, as Shams said,
"Matt, everyone knows Giannis Antetokounmpo loves the Bucks, but I'm here to tell you he loves winning more."
And let me remind you, Giannis has already entered his 30s. The Greek Freak's entire game is based on physical force, slashing, and athletic dominance. That sort of style doesn't age well into your late 30s unless you massively expand your jump shot, an evolution that Giannis has tried but still struggles with. So where should he land if he goes this summer? I'm sure the entire league would line up to pitch him, but not every team is a logical fit. For one, Giannis is a unique talent. You can't just plug him into any system. He's best when surrounded by shooters who let the game flow through him. On top of that, whichever team trades for him would have to gut some assets to convince Milwaukee to pull the trigger. There's been some buzz about Houston as a realistic option. The Rockets have a bunch of young talent, future picks, and a tough-minded head coach in Ime Udoka who would welcome Giannis's physical style. They lack a clear star to overshadow him and still are in top 4 in the killer Western Conference. That might be exactly what Giannis wants. A roster flexible enough to build his strengths and also an opportunity to try himself in the Western Conference. Plus, Houston's front office has shown it's willing to make bold moves if the right star is available. Another possibility that always comes up is Oklahoma City. Just because they are stockpiling picks, have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and are a serious contender. But my first question is, does SGA's ISO-heavy approach blend well with Giannis' style? And I would assume probably not. Shai's style just doesn't complement Giannis' strength in transition and in the paint. Giannis is so unique that you need to give him that freedom to do what he wants. Meanwhile, SGA needs the ball even more than Dame, so I would think they would clash more than they would gel. Also, the Thunder seem content developing organically without blowing up the blueprint for any one star, even if that star is Giannis. Apparently the Knicks might try too. They've been looking for that marquee name to take them over the hump, already having brought in guys like Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Karl Anthony Towns. But they've also spent a lot of their assets, so it's not clear that they could build the right package for Milwaukee. Oh, and by the way, Giannis has mentioned wanting more Europeans like Jokic to shine in big markets like New York, which some read as a hint he's interested in that possibility too. But again, the logistical hurdles are just quite steep. Realistically, any team that wants Giannis would have to measure how well he fits with their current superstar, if they have one, and whether they can afford to send Milwaukee enough assets. Don't forget, the Bucks will want a huge package for a top 5 player in his prime, and they'll prefer young players and picks to salvage a rebuild. At the end of the day though, Giannis will likely pick the plays that can give him an immediate title shot. He's not messing around with potential or half promises. Point is, Giannis leaving Milwaukee isn't just a maybe anymore. In my eyes, it's almost certain. But do let me know what you think in the comments below. Can Milwaukee do something this offseason, or is Giannis gone for sure once the season ends? As usual, show your appreciation by liking this video and also subscribing to this channel for more NBA takes through an overseas lens. See you in the next one.